Okay. First of all, I just wanted to thank Cinthanie for taking the time out of her busy life to speak to you guys. I mean, essentially, I am a stranger to her, but I like to think we're family because she's good friends with Amanda, and obviously, my grandma coach Melissa is her mother-in-law. So we're all just one big happy family, right? That's
Yeah,
what I like
we're
to
all
think.
under the same umbrella.
We're all under the same umbrella. We're like cousins. Our teams are cousins. Hey, Rex. No, thank you. Oh my gosh, my dog is insane tonight too. That's not
Mine is
helping.
like laying right. So she may get rowdy.
Oh my gosh, I totally understand. Um, so I'm just really honored that Cinthany took the time out of her busy life to talk to us, even though I'm a stranger to her. Our teams are cousins, and I really, 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 really wanted our team to hear from someone else who's in our family, but who's not specifically on this team. Does that make sense? And oh my gosh, a dog. Rex, Rex. And I specifically wanted you guys to hear from someone who, which doesn't necessarily relate to everybody who's sitting on the call. And I'm not calling you old, but I'm kind of calling you guys all old. Okay. It's all my moms who are watching right now. But I know that some of my millennial coaches are going to be watching the recording. And I really wanted you to hear from somebody who isn't necessarily um, exactly like all the people who are on this call, because I think that that's important for us to hear varying perspectives and experiences and success stories and get tips. So, oh my goodness, Cinthany, your dog is
She's huge.
she's huge. I was like, is she standing at a table?
She's 160 pounds. And
Stop.
yeah, she's ginormous.
What is she?
She's an English Mastiff. I'm actually going to close the door now that she has left because she will take over the call. So
Oh my word.
she's
I,
large and in charge.
she's huge. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just introduce Cinthany and let her take it away. Okay, Cinthany, do you live in Texas too?
I do. I
Okay.
live just outside of Dallas.
Okay. That's what I thought. And she's a newlywed, as all you guys know, I'm sure, because you probably stalked on social media just like I did and know what a stunning bride she was. And again, she's family. And Cinthany is a 2-star diamond coach. She's been a coach for 4 years in this business, but she says she did not do anything the first couple of years. So I think that is an awesome part of her story too. And what are you on the business team builder? What are
I'm
you on the leadership ladder?
team leader
Team
last time.
leader. Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew that. And of course and I just think she's a joy to follow on social media. And I think we can all learn a lot from her. So I'm going to turn it over to her and mute myself because my dog is crazy. And I'm sure there'll be 10 kids up and down the stairs. So I'm going to let her take it away. Okay.
Well, thank you for that sweet introduction. It means a lot. And now that you're muted, my dog has decided that she needs to chime in too. So Coach Phoebes is also going to be helping tonight. So I'm really sorry. But I was really honored when Jessica reached out to me to chat with you guys. That, she just kind of asked me to share what's on my heart with you. And so I hope that I can give you some takeaways tonight that maybe you haven't heard somewhere else. So I do have to preface, I express myself with colorful hair and colorful language. So sometimes words just don't explain what other words can explain. So I'm going to try to put on my filter, but just know if a word slips out, especially when I get like passionate about something, sometimes words just pop out. So just know I'm not trying to be offensive. It's just how I express myself. So just putting that out there. But yeah, I've been a coach for 4 years. I signed up when I was 20 years old and I did not do anything for the first 2 years. I did not take this seriously whatsoever, and holy moly, now that I have started treating it like a business in the past 2 years, I wish I would have acted sooner. Wish I would have known sooner, but here we are nonetheless. So during the summer, I actually saw a Facebook ad for, I don't know if you guys know who Bob Heilig is. I had no idea who he was, but he is kind of like an up and coming MLM direct sales marketing guru. And a Facebook ad came up that he was coming to Dallas. I had no idea who he was, but I was like, I reached out to my success partner. I was like, hey, I don't know who this guy is, but it says that he teaches business. Do you want to go with me? She said yes. I was like, if anything, if the event's awful, there's a really good happy hour down the street, so we can just hit that up instead if all else fails. Like, so we just kind of went to his event on a whim, and it actually turned out to be a really, really good event. And I learned a lot about the business side of what we do. So I know you guys already have an amazing coach. You have amazing resources to help you with all things beach body, and especially like beach body ins and outs. But what I want to share with you guys tonight is stuff that I didn't know about business practices that you may not have heard within Beachbody that I learned from someone outside of Beachbody. So I went to the event in early July. I've been implementing the things that I learned between July and now. August was my best month in business that I've had so far. Applying these business practices, I was able to hit team leader and go diamond in my second CBC last month because of because of these best business practices. So I'm going to share them with you guys. So let me pull up my notes so that I don't get off track, because that can happen. Okay, so what I'm going to be sharing with you is kind of the things that Bob Heilig taught me, and it's basically the difference between having a success mindset and a success equation. So first, we're going to kind of talk on success mindset and then success equation. So this may not take me long to share with you guys, but I feel like efficiency is super great. So this may be done in like 15 minutes, but I hope that I can give you like nuggets, takeaways. I mean, I'm kind of a get it in, get it out kind of girl. So I'm just going to share with you like basically kind of in a tough love way, because that's how I talk with my coaches. That's how I receive coaching. So about the success mindset. So one of the things that he taught us, and also like if you have no idea who he is, you need to look him up. Like I said, he's kind of up and coming, and so his events are really inexpensive because he's kind of like just getting started. I think we paid $40 for our tickets, and it was like an all-day event, and it was such good information. I know he has online trainings too, but his name is Bob Heilig. His last name is spelled Heilig, I believe. You can find him on Instagram or just look him up, but he has really, really great information. He was actually in direct sales himself for quite a few years, and then has started teaching all of the best business practices he collected throughout his experience and from others. So the success mindset, even though that sounds super great and something that we should all have, it's actually not the worst thing that you can have, but it can definitely be detrimental to your business as a coach. So I'm really going to take kind of what he said and put it into coach language versus just like the general business language that he had it in. So one of the things that he taught us is that success mindset is basically a mindset that you have on how you are going to acquire success in your business. Sounds super good, right? We want to all be successful. We work on our mindset with personal development, but let me break down the success mindset for you. So once we understand the success mindset, we can understand how to use the success equation. So the success mindset kind of stems from the fact that many times, or not even many times, but pretty much always, whenever somebody becomes a coach, it typically is because they are starting a coaching business because they're coming from a place of lack, right? So they either have some kind of financial goal, some kind of physical goal, maybe they want to know more people. Whatever it is, most people become a coach because they feel like coaching can fill some kind of need for them. So that's totally fine and good because all of those things are possible as coaches and what we do. But if gain is the only driver of your business, it creates long-term issues. So if you only become a coach to gain an income or to get six-pack abs or to gain friends, those can create long-term issues. Now, it's not bad to have goals or to want to earn things, but it can definitely be detrimental if you don't come from the right position as a coach. So the success mindset is basically a mindset of get. I want to be a coach because I want to get this, and this, right? So the success mindset is basically detrimental to our business because it's ego-based. So if we are running an ego-based business, that means we're running a really shifty business, because if it's based off of our ego, one of the things that he taught us, and I'm going to say it twice so that you guys can write this down because this like spoke to me so much, is that he said that ego is a fear-based organism and it's always judging and comparing itself based off of its relative position to others. So I'm going to say it again. Ego is a fear-based organism, and it's always judging and comparing itself based off of its relative position to others. So essentially what that means is if you are running an ego-based business, you're running a fear-based business, because ego really gets in our way, especially as coaches. I know for me, I have totally struggled with the, well, she did this in 6 months, so why can't I do that in 6 months? Or that girl doesn't deserve to be an elite coach. Like, y'all, we totally get in our own way and we can allow our ego to get in the way of our success in our business and allowing us to help other people, right? And ego is something that everybody has. Nobody is an exception to that, because it's just part of who we are. Our ego is kind of our defense mechanism, because like I said, it's relative to comparing itself to whatever environment it is. And so a lot of times we relatively compare ourselves to other coaches or other coaches' success in the business. And that makes us run our businesses based off of our ego. Because if she's 5-star, I sure as hell better be 5-star, because she doesn't deserve 5-star as much as I do. Like, we totally have that thing. Even if you won't admit it, that's okay. This is your safe place. But we all have that voice in our head that talks with us about that, right? So if we have a success mindset, we have an ego-based business. And if we have an ego-based business, that means that it's not a consistent business, because it is solely based off of comparing you to the relative position that you are to other people. So having a success mindset can be very detrimental. Now, I don't want you to think that having goals is a bad thing, because there's definitely a difference between having goals and having the success mindset. So how do we have goals and not have a success mindset? That is where the success equation comes in. So the success equation is kind of a method that he taught us that it's really simple. And once I heard him say it, I was like, man, I really wish like I would have like figured that out on my own a long time ago, because it's so simple. But that's the good news, is that it's so simple that it's really easy to apply, no matter what rank you are in your business, or how much money you make, or how many coaches you have in your downline, or how many people you help every month. The success equation applies to you at all levels of the business and all seasons of the business as a coach, which is super great. Because there are some business practices that we outgrow and evolve and change throughout becoming a coach, and as you evolve your business and as your coaches evolve and your teams grow. But the success equation is something that can be applied always, forever. So if the secret sauce exists, it's the success equation because it's timeless. So what he taught us about the success equation is that it's very simple. And if you only take this one thing and write it down tonight, just apply it. The success equation is service. And I think that that is really amazing that that is a success equation, because as coaches, what we have committed to do is serve other people. That's truly what we get to do. We have a very unique platform as coaches. There are many people who are in direct sales companies, but they provide a service instead of serving people. And there's definitely a difference, because if you are selling candles or lipsticks to somebody, you're applying an awesome, like you are providing an awesome service, and people love that. I love my candles and I love my lipstick. I'm basic like that. I like those things. But we get to provide a service which is improving somebody's quality of life. And so we always have to lead with the intentions of serving other people. And when we are in a heart of service, there is no room for fear or ego. Because if you're serving somebody, you're not thinking about what you're going to gain from it or how it's going to affect you if you are truly in a mindset of service. So service in all caps, bold, underlined, funnies, hearts, and stars around it, like that is your word from now on, is service, okay? So you want to be of service to your coaches and your customers, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. So I always talk, I used to have a podcast with Lauren Fitzgerald. I don't know if you guys know who she is. She still runs the podcast. It's still super fabulous. If you don't listen to it, you should. It's called the Fitz and Healthy Podcast, FITZ. But I always use that platform to really talk about protecting your energy and being aware of who you are providing your energy to, because our energy is precious, and what we give, we can't always get back. So what I mean when I say that you can't pour from an empty cup, you can't serve others if you are not first serving yourself. So I think it's super ironic that one of our vital behaviors is personal development, because doing your workouts and doing your personal development, that is for you. Those are the things that you do to fill your cup before you can fill others. Because if you are struggling in your fitness journey, you're probably going to struggle helping other people stay accountable to theirs. If you are struggling with your confidence or your mindset or your belief in yourself or limiting beliefs that you have, it's going to be hard, and that's going to translate over into your conversations or your coaching style. It doesn't mean that you won't have struggles, but personal development is the difference between having struggles and making them your strengths. So make sure you are doing your personal development and that you're doing your workouts, because that will allow you to have the energy to be able to pour into your coaches and your customers and your challenge groups. So for me personally, I'm a full-time coach, and in the morning from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., I do not talk to any of my coaches or any of my customers. And I know that sounds super mean, but it's vital to taking care of me and my process. So when I get up, the first thing I do is I go sit outside and do nothing. I literally sit outside. I live like country, like when you think of like stereotypical Texas, like tumbleweeds rolling, like that's where I live. So I go sit outside in the quiet, in the middle of nowhere, and just like drink my water and just allow myself to just kind of like let my brain like sort things out before I start doing something. I just go take a little bit of time, do nothing initially, don't check my phone, nothing. That time is just for me. Then I do my morning affirmations, and then I do my workouts, and then I start to do invites, follow-ups, and take care of my business, right? Things that only I can do. And then once my cup is full by doing the things that I need to do for me, then I take the time in the afternoon to pour into my customers and clients and coaches. Like that is when I answer phone calls or take one-on-ones with my coaches or check into my challenge groups and things like that, because I took care of me first. So I know since I got my workout in, my personal development, and my little bit of quiet time, I'm going to be able to pour into people way better than I would be if I was stretching myself thin and trying to respond to them first thing in the morning before I'd taken care of me, right? So finding a balance and making sure that you serve yourself first, you will have much better quality in the way that you serve others. So if you're not doing your personal development, if you think that that's something that you can kind of like go without, girl, I'm telling you, like that is your daily dose. It needs to be your prescription, a non-negotiable. Like I have not, you know how most people are like, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee kind of people? I am a don't talk to me until I've had my personal development kind of girl. So make sure you're getting your daily dose of personal development. It's vital for a reason. But once you have been able to fill your cup, then you can pour it into other people, right? So another part of the success equation and being in a heart of service is that we are privileged to be coaches. Like I was saying earlier, we kind of have a really unique business model because we are truly in a business of serving other people. So I never want you to take lightly what you do as a coach, whether you help one person a month or whether you help 50 people a month. You have to remember that we are privileged to be a part of the most vulnerable process that anybody goes through, and that is changing their lifestyle. Changing your habits and your thought process and the way you treat yourself and think about yourself and care for yourself, like that is a very, very vulnerable process. And we are privileged to be allowed to help people go through that process. So never, ever, ever take coaching lightly. You're not just selling challenge packs and giving people Shakeology and workouts. You are there to be their tour guide through their fitness journey. And that's huge, because there are women that I have in my challenge groups that won't even have their husbands take their before pictures. They'll like hide in the closet to do it, set the self timer, because that's how much of a process they need to go through and evolve. And I'm the one that gets privileged for her to trust me enough to be a part of that process and send me those pictures and be in that challenge group. Like that's a huge thing. So never take your service as a coach lightly, because you do change lives. We do get to have that opportunity and that privilege, right? So make sure that you lead with that and remember that and never take that lightly as a coach. So another thing about being in a heart of service for the success equation is that the quality of your relationships and the intensity of your efforts are a direct reflection of your personal growth. The quality of your relationships and the intensity of your efforts are a direct reflection of your personal growth. So basically what that means is, like I said, you can't pour from an empty cup. So your personal development, like I know when I first started coaching, I didn't do shit because I didn't know what to do. So I just didn't even try because I didn't have the confidence in myself. So I just paid my $15 business service fee as a donation to Beachbody for 2 years before I decided to do something about it. So it took me some time to commit to my growth in order to teach other people to grow, right? So like I said, the quality of your relationships, intensity of your efforts is a direct reflection of your growth. Now, this is not a transactional business. This is a relationships business. Like I said, we go through a really vulnerable process with people, and that takes building a relationship and trust, not just making a transaction. And so you have to have good quality in your relationships with your coaches and your customers, all as a result of your growth. So if you feel like you're struggling to connect with your customers or you are struggling to connect with your coaches, ask yourself, are you serving you and are you serving your customers? Are you connecting with them and your coaches out of a heart of service or out of a heart of success love points? Okay, so growth, our growth only comes from facing fears. And that is something that we have to commit to all the time as coaches. Inviting is scary. For me, I still hate inviting. Doesn't mean I don't do it, but it still scares me. It gets a little bit better, but that scares me, putting myself out there, and like especially being a younger coach, as Jessica said, in the business. Like I was so intimidated for so long because there's all these amazing badass mom bosses. And I'm over here like 21, like still going to the club on the weekends, but I sure do want to run a business. Like that intimidated me because I didn't know if I could measure up to the incredible women that I saw doing it all, like doing the mom thing, doing the wife thing, doing the coach thing, like making it all work. That was so intimidating to me. And so for a long time, I doubted my efforts or worth as a coach because I felt like they're going to want to go with somebody who has it all and is doing it all instead of somebody who's just like, hey, I like to party on the weekends, but I sure can't get you Shakeology. That was the story that I told myself forever because I wasn't committed to my growth. So the only way that you can grow is by facing your fears. So if you haven't read the book, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, you need to. That is your prescription. Immediately after this, it's a super short read. But basically, whatever scares you in the business, that needs to be the first thing that you tackle in your coaching hours, whether you're full-time or coaching 1 hour a day, whatever. When you sit down to do your Beachbody hours, that needs to be the number one thing that you do, is whatever scares you the most. Because if you do that first, then all the other things kind of seem like super mundane and super easy. So for me, every day or every month, really, I make a list of my most wanted, which are people that terrify me to reach out to, that I'm super intimidated to reach out to. And every morning, first thing I do after I've taken care of me is I take my most wanted list and I reach out to a couple people on that list. Still scares me. I have to turn on like some Drake to tell me I'm going to be okay while I send those messages and make me feel all right. And then I can go about my day. And something that I've taught my coaches, that if you are worried about invites, like if that's your thing, this is what I tell myself to kind of give myself a swift kick in the ass to get over the fact that I need to invite. And that is that if I invite someone and they say no, it's not going to change my life. But if I invite someone and they say yes, it is going to change their life. And I can't allow my fear to get in the way of that. So anytime I'm like, wah, wah, I don't want to invite you yet. Anytime I'm like, wah, wah, I don't want to invite, I'm like, Cinthanie, swift kick in the ass. If they say no, it's not, or even ghost you, it's not going to change your life. But if they say yes, it is going to change theirs. So you don't get to cry about it because you can't get in the way of what other people need. So that's what I tell myself. That's one of the things that I have used to break my glass ceilings and my fears with like inviting and reaching out to people. So make sure that you, like if you aren't doing big scary things in your business consistently, I promise you that your business is a direct reflection of that. So if you are not growing in your business, you're just going through the motions and hitting Success Club 6 and maybe getting a coach or two, but you really want to turn it up, you need to start doing the scary shit. This stuff that like makes your skin crawl or that you think is only for the big kids, like nope, you need to suck it up and you need to do it, because that's the only way your business will grow, is if you grow. So you need to be proactive in order to get to that heart of service, right? So you need to lean into your fear instead of running from it. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. I live and die by the 5-second rule. That is another method that I use to just like get stuff done. And so in order for me to be proactive, no matter how I feel about it, there are business building activities that I need to do no matter how I feel about it. So I use that 5-second rule, basically just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get it done. Because when you do that countdown, there's literally science behind it that you can't talk yourself out of it. Like you don't have time to talk yourself out of it. So apply the 5-second rule if you need to in order to be proactive so that you can lean into those fears instead of running from it. I have yet to have heard of a coach that has died from leaning into their fears. Just saying. So if the worst thing that happens is somebody ghosts you, or maybe you have to find someone else instead of that person you reached out to, you're not going to die. So I feel like worst case scenario, you have to talk to somebody else. I feel like that's a pretty good worst case scenario. So you're not going to die if you make yourself grow. So something that's really, really important, and this is what really spoke to me, is that service is an action. Service is not a thought process. If we tell ourselves we're going to serve people, that's super great, but it doesn't matter unless you are actually putting that service into action. So you first must have a heart of service. Your intentions need to be in the right place, but you need to act upon that service mindset, right? So this is the part that has really, really helped me in the past, like, I don't know, 90 days in my business, is the fact of consumption versus production. So this is really important. So I want you to write down consumption versus production. So this is really what I feel like sets apart people in business. And it has really set me apart in my business in the past, like I said, 90 days. So consumption versus production. So for example, tonight, right now, you are consuming. You're consuming information, you're consuming knowledge or business practices that you can apply. When you listen to the National Wake Up Call, you're consuming. When you watch videos in the Champions page or read through stuff in the back office, whatever. Anytime you are taking on knowledge, you are consuming, right? So for a very long time, I told myself the lie that like, I've done everything I'm supposed to do, but it's not working. And truly what was happening is I was consuming, but I wasn't producing. And there's definitely a difference. So you can know everything that there is to know about Shakeology. You can have the National Wake Up Call phone number memorized by heart. You can know the names of all the top 10, their husbands, wives, sisters, brothers, and kids. You can know all the things, but if you know all the things and don't do any of the things, that can be so detrimental in your business. Because I used to be like, Melissa, I don't know why I suck as a coach, because I do my personal development and I do my workouts and I listen to the National Wake Up Call, but nobody wants me as a coach. But it's because I wasn't doing production activities. So again, service is an action. So production is the action that you take in your business. Consumption is when you learn. So just like when you were little and you learned how to ride a bike, you probably didn't sit down and read a manual that explained all the parts of the bike and how everything works and a step-by-step of how to ride a bike, right? You got out there on your wobbly little bike, probably had a helmet on, or 2 or 3 if you were my mom, and you just learned, you physically learned how to ride the bike by taking action, not by reading about it. Coaching is very much so the same. I don't want you to think that knowledge is not power. It definitely is, but action reaps reward so much faster. So if you are fearful because you think that you shouldn't reach out to somebody because you don't know all the ins and outs of Lift 4, that's a lie that you're telling yourself. Find out together, learn together. You are going to learn by taking action. So the difference between production and consumption is that inviting and talking is working. That is production action, okay? And then, sorry, I just lost my train of thought in my notes. Okay, so inviting and talking to people is working, okay? Consuming info is not so much as working, so don't get them confused. Because I used to do my power hour and it was all consumption and not any producing activities. And so, like I said, knowledge is important, but the best and most important thing you can do as a coach is take action in your business. Just Nike that, right? Just do it. Just go out there and get it done. So In order to make sure that you know the difference between consumption versus production, is you need to go serve your coaches. Again, service is an action, not a thought. So if you think about your coaches and think, well, I hope Jessica's doing well. I haven't talked to her in a while, but I watched her stories and like she looks like she's doing good. So haven't heard from her, but I assume everything's good. Do not assume. You are not serving by assuming anything. You're not serving by just thinking that everything is great. You need to serve by actually connecting with your coaches and actually connecting with your clients, because again, service is an action and this is a relationship-based business. So make sure that you are reaching out to your coaches, talk to them about what you learned tonight so that you can teach them how to implement it. I feel like this is a really simple concept because in a nutshell, basically what you need to do is you need to go serve. Every decision that you make in your business needs to be based off of, it needs to be a service-based decision. Because as long as you are serving people, because that's what we committed to do as coaches, the income will come and the rank advancements will come and the growth in your team will come because you're going to lead by example, that you are in a heart of service. And that's what we do as coaches. And that's what we do as Team Made, especially because we're all in Team Made, right? So if you are leading with a heart of service, you can teach your coaches to lead with a heart of service. Don't just assume that a coach is doing good. Routinely reach out to coaches, like a couple times a week. Just run a spreadsheet from your back office of your downline of your coaches and just choose a couple that you reach out to that week. Ask them how they're doing. Give them your attention. Make sure that they know that they matter to you and that they don't just matter to you at the end of the month when you need them to hit Success Club so you can get elite points. Make sure that you're not just reaching out to your coaches when you need something from them from your business, because that is not service. It's ego-based, okay? So make sure that you are serving your coaches, that you stay committed to that, because when you serve your coaches, they will learn how to serve their coaches and so on and so forth. So the speed of a leader is the speed of the pack. So the better you serve your coaches, especially because the work doesn't stop once you sign a coach. That's when it starts. That is when you start. The minute you sell a challenge pack is not when your work is over. That's when your work begins. Because now you need to do the things that you committed to doing. By being their coach, you committed to serving them in a challenge group. You committed to serving them in a community. You committed to serving them best business practices and helping them and mentoring them as a coach. So the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So the more that you can be in a heart of service and stay in that realm, the faster, better, stronger your team and your success will be all around. Okay, so I'm going to close it out with this. There is a mantra that I have. It's the words that I live by. If you follow me on social media or have ever heard me speak anything, like I literally shove this down everybody's throat. So it's a mantra, like I said, that I live by. And it is that you are a good person and you deserve good things to happen to you. As a coach, you are a good coach. You are deserving of good things from this business. This business is happening to you right now. You just have to know that you are deserving of the good things that come from it. So you are a good person. You deserve good things to happen to you. You're a good coach. You deserve the good things that come from it. You just have to know that you deserve it. Because this business is happening to you right now, you have to know that you deserve it. So if you guys have any questions, like I'm going to open it up. If you want to talk anything, I'm an open book. Anything that I can help you guys with or add value to, I'm here to do.
I just have to say that was exactly, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but that was exactly what I needed to hear today.
Good, I'm glad.
So thank you. Thank you. Seriously, like 100% spoke to my heart. So I just been feeling like I've been going through the motions lately, and to be honest, and I needed this. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's completely changed, and it's just so simple, which is so nice because if you just think about it, like, oh, all I need to do is just make every decision based off of service. Like, it's not like you need to revamp your entire business and like all of your systems or whatever trainings, like just act out of service. And I can tell you this, my success partner and I both have implemented this since we learned it. And like I said, it's totally changed my business. I was able to hit team leader last month, which I've been trying to do for months, but because I decided to do it out of service and not because I wanted it, it no longer became an ego-based goal, but it became a goal of service because it allowed my coaches to create more volume in their business, which helps them, but also helped us hit team leader as a team. And it helped me to create Diamond in my second CBC because it was my coaches that were being served instead of the other way around. So as long as you can apply that service, like the work will be done. It will get done because of your intentions. And like I said, that's just the commitment that we made as coaches. Like once you become a coach, it's not about you anymore. It's not. It's about who you can help. And I think sometimes like we allow the business to get jaded or whatever in our thoughts, and we make it about us, but it's not. It's about who we can help.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously, just what I needed to hear. You guys have questions? I know that you guys are never shy about asking questions, so don't be shy. This team is smart, a really smart group of women, so I know that they've got questions. Just unmute yourself and have at it.
No, you guys are just all a genius. I believe that though. I mean, like I said, iron sharpens iron. And so I know Jessica's an awesome coach. So I'm not surprised that you guys are probably already like, oh, I know this. I got this. Don't tell me I didn't already know.
Thank you. Well, I've got a question while they're thinking of theirs. Cinthanie, where are you finding your new coaches these days?
So my business is like 110% ran through Instagram.
Okay.
Facebook is like archaic for me right now, which is bad. Maybe I should also still incorporate Facebook and not put all of my eggs in one basket, but it's my own damn basket. So I get to choose what I do with it. And right now, all of my eggs in the basket, all my bets are placed on Instagram. So I truly use Instagram stories as my biggest tool because that really makes it so that there's no such thing as a cold market anymore. Because a cold market is basically people that don't know you. But people that watch your Instagram stories know you. Like they know you, and so it's already a warm market. So when I talk to people or when I do my invites, it's not like I'm some random girl sliding in their DMs. It's like, hey, I'm a coach. Do you want to be a coach? It's like, hey, I saw that you watched my stories about coaching, and I noticed that you always watch my stories. Have you ever considered being a coach yourself? It's not weird or foreign when I invite because I talk to them in my stories all the time. So they already know me. That has been like a huge difference for me is Instagram stories for sure.
What kind of stuff are you doing, Cinthanie, in Instagram stories that you feel like is successful to you when you're talking about the business or just in general?
So I think that like I said, I'm very like unfiltered.
No, see, unfiltered. This is like the most down to earth group of people. She's like, can I swear? I was like, yeah.
I keep thinking, like Amanda is your coach, and so,
yeah, exactly.
If you can hang with Amanda, no, but I am very unfiltered. That's just authentically like who I am. And so I hold no bars on my Instagram. I am just truly 110% myself because if I'm not myself, I'm going to attract people that aren't like me. And that's going to be a fake relationship. And I don't want that. I don't want coaches that I don't like or that I have to pretend to be someone I'm not to keep. I want my people. And so I stay authentic to myself. Personal development has really helped me to be like, okay with embracing me and who I am and not being worried like what people are going to think when they watch my stories. But being authentic to myself, just being honest and sharing my truths. Like for a long time, I couldn't admit that I struggled with nutrition. I thought I needed to be an expert instead of an advocate or people that are just like me that struggle with nutrition. And so I share a lot about like my daily struggles with nutrition or whatever it may be. As far as when it comes to the business, I really use curiosity marketing, which is basically not name dropping Beachbody or the products. Like if you follow me on Instagram, you're going to see that I don't talk about challenge groups. I have what's called the body shop. So my husband is a mechanic and he has an auto body shop. And so I was like, hey, I help women work on their bodies. So my challenge groups are the body shop. So I never say Beachbody. I never say challenge groups, not because I'm ashamed of those things, but because I want people to know that it's authentic to me and that it's not just authentic to a company. Because I bleed the Beachbody blue, but I clearly like look at my gym walls, they're blue. But I am not Beachbody, I'm Cinthanie. And Beachbody is my platform. And so I think it's really important to remember that like Beachbody is your platform, not who you are. So I talk about superfoods, or I talk about pre-workout, or I talk about my home workouts, but I'm never using terms that only us coaches know. Because I don't want to speak to coaches, I want to speak to people that have no idea what Beachbody is, but they definitely need it. So I really use curiosity marketing. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else in a nutshell that I use. I use Google Forms. I have an application to get into my challenge group or an application to become a coach. And I drive that on my Instagram like almost daily. I just like send or show a little video of me, like a screen recording that I do of me clicking on the link in my bio, clicking on whichever form to use to fill out. And I put that like in my stories daily. So I'm showing them exactly where they can go to ask for my help. So if you want to go to my Instagram, if you don't use Google Forms, you need to. You can go to my Instagram and just click on the link, and shit, you can copy my form and use it as your own. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not trying to help the same people that you are. And so, but if you need some kind of point of reference, you can definitely look. But I talk about my fitness journey. And every time I talk about my process, I always end it with inviting them to go fill out the link in my bio. And that way, not only am I still doing my invites and still reaching out to people personally, but then I get an influx of people filling out this form wanting to talk to me about challenge groups or coaching. So there's no like guesswork. So I really, really use forms a lot. That's a huge driver for me right now, all off of Instagram stories.
Cool. Thank you. That helps. That helps a ton. Other questions? I think Carla's got a question. Carla, you look lovely, by the way.
You do. Like
this whole like teacher, straight to parent teacher organization, eating dinner. Okay, so my question, like, I totally stalk you, so I like know about your body shop and everything. But
I love it.
I am curious if you do like. Do you keep people in it and kind of have it like rolling month by month, or do you open it up brand new, like, oh, we're only doing this specific program this month? Or
that's a really good question. For me personally, I have tried to do the ongoing challenge groups and I hate them. I personally hate them because then I have to remember who came in what month, have they ordered Shakeology this month, blah, blah, blah. I don't like it. For some, like my top coach is 20 years old, by the way. She's about to go 1-star. Yeah, she's insane. And she loves to do she has like an ongoing challenge group, and they're like her lifers. They live and die in that challenge group, I swear. I personally start a new challenge group every month, but I do have a lot of girls that roll over from challenge group to challenge group. But I like to start fresh and new because I'm disorganized and it helps me stay more organized. Does that help? I hope it does. Okay. Any other questions? Nothing? Okay.
Other questions, guys? Don't be shy.
I'm just excited to see pretty much everybody on this call in Vegas in a month, including you, Cinthanie.
Including you, yes.
I'm super excited. Are you guys all going to Vegas on here? Most of you?
Most of the people in here.
Almost everybody.
Yes, that's super awesome. Come find me and give me a hug. We're all family.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you guys in person.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Super exciting. I'm probably going to get in trouble by how many like packages of clothes are coming in. Those Instagram ads get me, y'all.
Oh my gosh, I have the worst luck with ordering clothes off Instagram.
Really? I should have learned my lesson by now, but sometimes you just can't help it. But of course, if you're going to go to Vegas, of course it's a necessity to change your wardrobe, right? Like, total necessity.
I love it. Anybody?
And if you think of like something later, feel free to reach out to me. Like, don't be a stranger. I'm totally here to help you. We are all in the business of helping people and serving. And I really think that that means serving other coaches as well and being helpful to other coaches. So I hold no secrets. I have no special sauce or something that I do that I'm not going to share with you. So if you do think of any questions later, like, please reach out to me. Don't be a stranger.
Sounds good. Guys, this call was exactly what I needed. I'm going to go to bed with a full heart and a full head, and I'm really excited. So thank you, Cinthanie, for your time, and thank all of you for taking the time to tune in too. It just means a lot.
So before we go, if it's okay, I'm going to take a boomerang for my Instagram stories because, like I said, I'm based off Instagram stories. So if you all just want to do like something crazy, I'm going to give you a countdown for a boomerang, okay? All right, ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Fabulous. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate you. All right. I'll see you next month.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.